Hello everyone, welcome back to Kubernetes Zero to Hero series. And in today's video, we will learn one of the most important Kubernetes concept, which is persistent volumes and volume claims. Before we begin, I'll ask you one question. What happens if your pod gets deleted? And what happens to the data stored inside that pod? Do let me know the answer and stay with me until the end because this concept is extremely important and very interesting for both real world projects and DevOps interview. Let's get started. So what was the problem before PV? Containers are designed to be temporary. Kubernetes can create, destroy, recreate pods anytime. So you imagine you're running a DB inside a pod. The DB stores customer record orders and important business information. Now this information needs to be there. However, if a pod crashes and gets recreated, what about all this information stored in the container? Will that be lost? Yes. And this kind of storage in technical terms is called as ephemeral storage. And that's exactly the problem persistent volumes solve. What is a persistent volume, which is called as PV also? It is a storage resource in Kubernetes in a simple term. Think of it like a device that is existing independently of pods. Pod get deleted, persistent volume remains available. It can be backed by various storage solutions like AWS, Azure, Google, NFS, AWS EBS, Azure Disk, or Google Persistent Disk. The key point is that the storage survives, pod restarts, and recreates. We'll understand what is PVC, Persistent Volume Claim. PVC is simply a request. It is a request for storage. So application don't directly use PV. First, they create a PVC and request the amount of storage that they require. Then Kubernetes will find a matching PV and bind it automatically. This separation makes storage management flexible. PV and PVC analogy. Example PV is house, PVC an agreement, and pod is a tenant. How PV and PVC work. So admin creates PV, app creates PVC, and Kubernetes bind them together. Now we'll see a simple example to create a persistent volume. This is a YAML file. We define API version. So generally v1 is the type. Then we'll see kind, in which the kind is persistent volume that we are creating. And then we will mention the capacity, and the child element will be storage. The storage should be 1 gigabyte. Once YAML file is ready, as we know, we have the commands kubectl apply and then -f file pv.yaml, which will create the persistent volume. Now we'll see how we are creating a volume chain. Again, API version is v1. Kind will be what we are creating, persistent volume claim. In this, the request that we are creating should have a storage of 500 megabytes. Now, when need to attach PVC to a pod, persistent volume claim, and then the claim name my PVC. So, attaching, we need to use the storage inside the application. So, inside the pod specification, we will have to reference the claim name. So, we do this by creating the claim name. Once the pod will start, Kubernetes will mount the storage automatically, and the application will now read and write data safely even if pod restarts or data remains available. So we will quickly go ahead and see a few of the interview questions around it. Difference between PV and PVC. PV actual storage, PVC request for the storage. What is storage class? A storage class enables dynamic storage provisioning. What is the difference between static and dynamic provisioning? The answer depends on the access mode configured. Some best practices are: use storage classes whenever possible, monitor storage utilization regularly using Prometheus Grafana, choose correct access mode, implement backup and recovery strategies, and use cloud native storage services in production environment. It will ensure reliability and scalable management. Let's have a quick recap. What we learned today: why container storage is temporary, what are PV, what are PVC, how pods use PVC, what are storage classes, static and dynamic provisioning. These are fundamental concepts every DevOps engineer should understand about Kubernetes. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also comment below which Kubernetes topic should we cover next. Zero to Hero series will learn about daemon sets, explain another very important concept for DevOps engineer Kubernetes administrators. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.